Leigh here in Future Intro mid-training camp. Give Sport and Icons a follow.
Now, it's such a shame that these things happen in the way that they do, with Leigh Wood getting stopped with about 10 seconds left to go of round 7. And ultimately, the thing is that it's the referee's decision. Now, Ben Davison can get up on the apron, he can throw in the towel, he can even get in the ring, he can do whatever he likes. Ultimately, it's the referee's decision as to whether or not he accepts that towel from the corner. And clearly he did, because obviously he stopped the fight. He allowed Ben Davison to put a stop to the fight. Now, you can look at this from a couple of angles. Number one, 10 seconds left. Leigh Wood wasn't getting bounced around. He wasn't absorbing punishment or fight. He wasn't getting bounced up and down off the canvas in that last round and everything. He got hit with a very, very good shot. He went down, he got up, and he was hurt, for sure. But the referee was the one who stood in front of him. The referee was the one who said, "Are you okay to continue?" The referee was giving him the benefit of the doubt based on the fact that it was very, very close to the end of the round. He felt that Leigh Wood would be able to survive those remaining 10 seconds or whatever it was. But ultimately, Ben Davison's on the outside of the ring. But again, you could look at it and say, but Ben Davison, he knows his fighter. Maybe Ben Davison's been overly cautious, overly caring. See, some trainers are like that. But with only 10 seconds left, would he have survived it? Maybe Mauricio Lara would have come forward and taken his head clean off. Spectacular highlight reel knockout. Or maybe Leigh Wood would have leaned up against the ropes and evaded those shots, and the bell would have saved him, sat down for 1 minute, come out, and maybe been able to recuperate enough to survive maybe like the first minute of the next round. Maybe, because as I said before, he wasn't absorbing huge amounts of punishment. And it's a shame because he was winning that fight. He was winning that fight and he was doing very, very well. But ultimately, as I said before, if the referee had have said, just waved it off, okay, that's fine. But Ben Davison did it from the outside. So that would suggest to me that Ben Davison has seen this from Leigh Wood before. Maybe quite recently in sparring. Maybe he's been knocked out cold in sparring or whatever, you never know. But at the same time, Leigh Wood, he's been hurt before. He's been hurt quite a few times. He's been down before, got up and won fights and looked, after he looked like he was out of it, come back and won fights. So I suppose it depends on what position you stand on. But ultimately, it is the referee's decision as to whether or not to accept Ben Davison's call to stop the fight or not. And he did. And that's it. We have to accept it. Will he activate the rematch? We'll have to wait and see. But up to that point, Leigh Wood, I thought that he was winning the fight quite comfortably. Not in the sense of physically, but on points as far as the scorecards is concerned. He was winning that fight. Mauricio Lara, of course, was certainly in the fight. He was landing some pretty good shots. And Leigh Wood, he would do very, very well when he chose to box, when he chose to throw punches and move, throw punches, move. But at times, Leigh Wood, it's almost like he was trying to land some big punches and then try and see for a reaction. Whereas Mauricio Lara, very, very good poker face, he's not showing if he's hurt or not. And maybe that confused Leigh Wood a little bit. To say, well, I'm not hurting him, so I want to make sure I hurt him. You know, this is my home city. We're in Nottingham. I want to get this knockout. I want to see him wince. He wasn't getting that kind of reaction, so maybe that's why he got a little bit greedy. But when he was actually boxing, he was doing very, very well. But as I said before, Mauricio Lara was certainly in the fight. He was in most rounds. It was only really a real clear round for Leigh Wood in round number 3. But the other ones, Mauricio Lara was having success, especially with like body shots, and you can see that they were hurting Leigh a little bit. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see if he activates the rematch. Mauricio Lara is a bad man, that's for sure. And it's a shame that this had to happen for Leigh Wood, because I would have loved nothing more than Leigh Wood to have beaten this guy. Reason being is because Lara has been very, very disrespectful to English, hasn't he? Where he's been saying that English fighters are cowards, they don't fight, and blah, blah, blah. I thought he was very, very disrespectful, so I would have loved nothing more than Leigh Wood to have smoked this guy. But the fight ended in a knockout win for Lara, as I think a lot of people were predicting. I felt that that's probably what was going to happen. But of course you hope not. But is it a overly cautious stoppage from Ben Davison? Ben Davison is a very defensive-minded coach. He is. And he does care about his fighters and whatever else. Not that he's got a habit of throwing in towels, of course not. But I don't know. I mean, the fact that Leigh Wood and Ben Davison chose this fight, well, they didn't have to choose it, shows that he's got, huge heart and huge ambition and huge self-belief. But ultimately, one punch can change anything and everything in fights, and that's what happens. So I suppose it's on you as to whether or not you agree with the stoppage. I mean, I can't disagree with it too much, but as I said, 10 seconds. I mean, if Leigh would have been down beforehand and was getting badly hurt, yeah, okay, 10 seconds or not 10 seconds. 10 seconds in that ring, when you've got somebody who throws punches with spite, the way that Mauricio Lara does, those 10 seconds can feel like an eternity. Okay, so maybe it was the right decision. Maybe, but for me, the only thing that's kind of niggling me a little bit is that the referee was stood there in front of him, and the referee saw him fit to continue, but Ben Davison on the outside of the ring saw him fit not to continue. But to be fair, it probably was the right decision. So anyway, that's my thoughts. You drop me yours, click thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you next video.